Hello, and welcome to this definitely not rushed panel on how to draw Cyberpones. Can everybody hear me okay? Drop a bread emoji in the chat. Hello, there's a corgi among us. Or is it a pony? Which one is it today? Is it corgi or pony? It is a corgi indeed. Lovely jubbly. So, today we shall be learning. There is some bread. Okay. Lots of bread. So, this panel will be on how to draw technical horses in the synthwave and cyberpunk themes that we all know and love, and which is this panel's and con's whole thing. So, as you can see, there's a terrifying rust-drawn KOC. I shall now delete him. Adios. What we'll be going through is say who I am and all that jazz, what program to use, and like little tricks and tips and everything on how to make a normal horse. This is professional horse into synthwave. Let's find a fancy color. We're going on like backgrounds, glow effects, and like small little trinkets and ideas that can make a piece look, as great as it can in such a simple program. My name's Chaos Mauser. I've been in this fandom since 2014. I began drawing the horses we all know and scream at for 6-7 years now, I think, and got into the like the synthwave effects in 2017, I want to guess, but 2017, 2018. And since then, been learning how to make all the gradient look all nice, the like the glow effects, the simple yet contrasting backgrounds, and yeah, I can say delve into a bit of the cyberpunk with the release of Cyberpunk 2077 and what a mess that was. Still haven't played it either. Do all this synthwave and cyberpunky art, and I don't play the game that actually inspires a lot of it. But anyhow, shall be getting it soon. But yes, enough about me. The program. So today we'll be using the Krita. Krita is a free program you can download off the internet. It's free, it's safe and sound. Go on the legit website. It's all fancy and artsy. Yeah, it's free to download, and it's pretty much Photoshop and Illustrator mixed together without the price tag, which it has. You could also say it's similar to Medibang Paint. I used to call it MediaBang Paint back in the day because that sounds a lot easier than Medibang. It's MediaBang. But yeah, I've been working with Krita for how long now? Since September last year. Before that, I was using a perfectly legit copy, I swear, from a friend's computer. Beamy, but go and buy her stuff. Her stuff's amazing. I used her computer to do a lot of the art that you saw between 2019 and 2020. So yeah, I've only been learning. I'm still learning Krita and all its fancy notions and everything. But for now, it's it's doing really well, and I'm enjoying it a lot more than I do with Psy because there's a lot more options and like brushes and everything, as you can see just where this mouse is spinning around. So you get all these. So you got your digital, your erasers, your FX, ink, paint, sketches, and textures and everything. So if you want to make a thing look very pretty. Any questions before I move on to lines and everything like that? Yes, Medibang. Medibang is I used to use Medibang in say about 2017 to 2019 on my Samsung tablet, which is slowly dying on me. Things like been on 24/7 for the last 6 years, so I think it needs retiring. But yeah, we shall start. First, we need a technical horse to draw. So, who shall we draw? Vote in the chat below. Oh, 7 years, nice. We are veterans. We deserve veteran discounts. For art-related stuff like paintbrushes and paintbrushes. Yeah. We've got one for Derpy and one for Britannia. Oh, we've got a second Britannia. Okie dokie, it will be Britannia. So, let's go with a cyberpunky Britannia. I will admit I haven't warmed up, so if the horse looks very non-horsey, then, well, I apologize immediately. Okay, so we shall do some quick lines. That is definitely a circle, I promise. You know what, let's go with a side look, because that's a lot easier to do. So we'll do some lining and everything. So let's make a muzzle. Reduce the optimacy so I can work with the linings again. Oh, let's move the head down a little bit. That's probably a good idea. There we go. Say the brush instead of paint brushes on Creator are very useful for like making sketching lines and everything. So it's definitely worth using them, you know, just to make little indications of like, you know, fur and just so you know where you want to put your official lines once you're done. And I need to actually look up a picture of Britannia because I've literally forgotten what she looks like. There we go. And there we go. Okay. Pretty much like a Rainbow Dash main, isn't it? Yeah. But let's make it all cyberpunky. So let's go. Let's give it that good old cyberpunk quiff where it goes whoosh. Like that. There we go. And then we'll get that muzzle in there. And so get some chest floof. And we have a Britannia. I'll just quickly line this. Also, actually, to start with, when doing like cyberpunky colors, it doesn't really matter what colors you use, because it depends on what type of atmosphere you're doing. You could do like a daytime cyberpunk. You could be doing like an evening. You know, it's all dark and there's mysterious neon glows and the city life and everything. So we're gonna go with a darkish blue. Let's go with the nightlife because it's just more pleasing than anything else. So you get these. Oh, I'm still using that brush. There we go. say if you when you're using a drawing pad as well, you can change the like the thickness of the lines, as you can see here. So if you want to go thick at one side and then really thin at one point and then go thick again, that's a lot more so it helps with like if you want to define shadows rather than you know, fully shade it. So if you want to make it, oh, what's the word for it now? Is it cell shading? That's the one. Let's have a go. Do like a thin and then a thick outline at the top. Then line, line. Again, and then it out. I am also using a. You can also make a smoothing stabilizer. If you're, you know, so if you struggle with like shaky hands or anything like that, it helps. It helps alleviate that. And you know, I find it quite useful because my hands shake a little bit when I'm drawing, especially when I'm drawing in front of quite a few people. Get a little bit nervous, as they say, a little bit nervous. So you can see, so with this cell shading, you can add shadows just by adding thicker lines. Let's curve that down a bit. You say if you're following along, by all means, I'm gonna say send in what you're working on and everything. It's always good to see more cyberpunk and synthwave art, especially with the My Little Pony. You don't see much of it anymore. And that was a big craze of it when it first, you know, when synthwave and everything first came out. Became popular again, and then went back into the shadows. But now, you know, all this new cyberpunk and futuristic stuff's coming out. It's a lot more popular than it used to be. I think I worded that right. Yeah. Any questions while I'm lining, and I shall pop into the questions on the Discord. Lib says, when I try to do that, I can never get it with the thickness I want. It's a lot of like trial and error. So you say when you want to, you say you got to think of it as also like shadowing as well. So like, so we've gone like the shadows, the light. This is the light source. That's going in here. This is a perfect example. So you got like the thin line here where the hairs at the top. So that would be like the brightness, and then here will be your like the shadows. So I'm gonna say this will be a lot thicker lined. So if I say I color that up a little bit more, that gives that more of a thicker tone. And then if I do this with that, and then thicken that out again, that gives that a little bit more tone. And then so we'll stop here because we're going to add a jacket. Because who doesn't like jackets? Unless it's really warm, then it's probably not worth wearing a jacket. Yeah. So we've got our Britannia looking all liney. So get rid of that. So yeah, let's give it. Yeah, I was gonna say for outfits. I'm gonna say the best thing to do is look at references for like how cyberpunk outfits and everything look. So you know, as you can see in Cyberpunk 2077, it's like a big puffy jacket with like little technical bits on the sides, and essentially looks like they've got like bits of like old radios and just like stick them with flex tape. And they got, you know, they bought an LED ring off Amazon and just put that around the neck, which is pretty good for cosplay actually. So it's best thing to do is like look up referencing and everything. So we're going to work with so this is going to be like a neon like collar piece. So we'll color that in with a little bit of shading, darkness, like that, and do this. Yeah, when it comes to like synthwave and everything and cyberpunk, it's always good to like practice and just keep practicing pieces, because you'll find something that clicks with you. So you might be a person who doesn't like this thick outline style, so you try it with thin outlines and everything, so you can add more color and then shade it out, so you give more more depth to like how the the glow goes against the body and everything. There it is. So let's give the jacket a few of those little diodes that I mentioned. Yeah, it's a lot of like trial and error as well. They say seeing what works and what doesn't. Like the rarity piece I did a while back was a lot of trial and error, just trying to get the light, like because it was all dark lines and everything similar to this. It was a lot of like trying to make sure where does the shading go, where's the lighting go, anatomy and anatomy as well. So we'll go like that and like that. There we go. Something like that. And then of course get the collar here. That's not the same size, is it? There we go. That's what we're looking for. I hope. And then curve it there and that way. So we have aligned Britannia. Now for colors, I'm gonna say color palettes. As you know, with a lot of aesthetically colors, if you want nightlife, you go for a lot of say darkish blues. Let's go here. So we go for like color palette. So you have like a dark, so you get your dark blues, get a bit of light blue. So you get your fancy pinks. So you get your bright neon colors. So a lot of bright, vibrant colors. It doesn't always have to be the pink and the blue, despite that being, the classic. It's how you want it to look as well. So you can go with a bit of yellow. You can even go with a bit like teal and green and everything if you know, say if you work with color theory. Let's say a bit of dark purple. So a variety of these type of colors and everything would work. So a bit darker. It's just how you want it to look. So if you want it to be a let's say like a garden in Neo Tokyo 2046, and you want it to be a bit more, give it like a fresh, pure color in the nightlife, and with all like the bushes and everything. You'd have a bit more of the say like tealish, bright greens, and a bit of blue, a bit of yellow, maybe a touch of pink just to bring it out a little bit. But if you're going for like let's say nightclubs and everything, you definitely would go for like the pink, blue, the yellows. Essentially what's inside your printer. You go for printer colors, you go your magenta, your cyan, and your yellow. Is there yellow on a printer? We shall never know. Yeah. So we'll keep them at the side for now. So I'll hide them there. Color-wise, color. Let's line this up. Just keep that safe. Yeah, a trick. Say if you want to like press inside your lines without having that little white line, go to the grow and shrink section. So about 2 to 3 pixels would normally do it, so it goes inside. Get yourself a second layer, and then just fill it in. So let's go with a, say the nightlife. It's just, the sun's just set, but it's like so it's just coming up to the start of the night. So let's say it should be about that color. Take a darkish pale blue. So we got that. Then we'll go with, because the pale is that. There we go. So with the colors and everything, there is also a another trick you can do. I'll show it once I've colored these in. Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the color. CYMK. The K. Let's say it's Kevin. So you have your cyan, your magenta, your yellow, and your Kevin. Oh wait, no, it's black. Never mind. I prefer Kevin. You have a little Kevin inside everyone's printer. Anyhow, I'm rolling on. So let's go with a. So we'll go with that, and we'll go with that. There we go. So get a darker, more vibrant blue here, like that, and like that. I think they're the right colours. As well, UKBP, not UKBP, UKPC. I'm getting my acronyms mixed up. Destroy me for destroying their fabulous mascot. I'm sorry. And we'll do the jacket in a fabulous pale dark purple. And I believe, yep, that's done what I've expected it to do. There we go. Right. Just going to fill that in just for a second. And the little diodes will be a, let's go with that neon pink color, but we'll just make it just a plain color at the moment. There we go. Okay, so now that we have a very dark, aesthetically looking Britannia, we shall now move on to the, how to make it look a little bit cybernetic and everything. What you'd want to do is, look up references of like how cyborgs and everything look. A good example would be if you've ever watched the anime series and the recent film with Scarlett Johansson, Ghost in the Shell. Like when you see them moving their, body and facial modifications around. You can see on, saying the Scarlett. We've just recently watched the Scarlett Johansson version of the film. Say the antagonist had a, you could see like all a lines of as well on his face. So you could say like, let's say Britannia's had ears, and so like an ear modification, to which now she can hear, say further, and she can also hear, sonic waves and everything. So a really easy way to do it is just by applying like a dark line and just making little connections like this. It's a really easy and effective way on how to well, it looks like it's like different parts of the body. So So there's one up here. It goes down like that. Then do a little circle. So our dear Britannia has had a ear modification, so she can amplify sound a lot better. So we'll add the curves in ear. I'm probably gone the wrong way with these, but yeah. She's also had a nose job. So her sense of smell is a lot better, including a jaw, so she can sing a lot louder and get a lot of noise complaints. If you're getting noise complaints, it means you're singing better and louder and happier. Yeah, a lot of it is like trial and error and seeing on how it would work. So as you can see here, I have to redo that one again. So it's like a chip and the vocals chords. I'm just moving that up a touch, like that. Now, should we give her cybernetic eyes? I think we should. What do you think? Should we give her cybernetic eyes? Oh, yes. Hedo. Oh, yes. You know what? We'll give we'll give her the visor. We'll give her the visor. I just need to look at what visor that is. Because for a second I thought you meant Bato's visor from Ghost in a Shell. Oh, that's the wrong one. So let me look at what the visor is. Oh, yes. Yes, let's work with that. Let's go with that visor, and my pen's upside down. Okay, so we've gone over the how to make easy, effective cybernetic lines. Let's go with that visor. Okay, so let's go with a darker color, and do a curve here, like that. I think I've got that right. Yeah, I think that works. Sure, I'll just need to connect those together for a second. Then then we'll color it in. I know it's not close to the visor you mentioned, but this is, let's say, I can work with that. I was going to say, for a cheap way to make a visor, we'll call aesthetically pleasing everything, is to say again with the say get the magic wand, press inside, make sure it's about 2 pixels outwards, and then make another layer. So that's all covered. Is to use a gradient tool, as that will give it a like a glow effect. And then go for your brushes and everything and see what you could use. So I'm going to use what is a spray paint brush. We're going to make a little bit of a cyan tinge at the sides, just so it's got a little bit of a glow effect. You can see that there. So it's got a bit of a glow effect there, and then once all that's done, we can add the proper colors and everything. Yeah, that works. I like it. And we'll make it grey because no, that's the wrong layer. Oh yeah, always remember which layers are your layers, otherwise you can end up with what I just did there, where it makes it all look gritty and bleh, not very nice. So we have the visor. Oh, if you want to make layers connect to each other as well, a good technique to do that is Control E, and then they are joined together. And then you can mess around and do what you want with them. To which I am going to make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, that works, I think. Yeah, that works. I'm just going to delete that piece. Farewell. And get back to that line I was using. And that's the same color as I was using before. Everything's fine. Let's get that. So make sure the hair is shown. But yeah, so we have a very visor-looking Britannia. Yeah, that looks good. That. Okay, let's add some sort of an eye system in there. So we should look at dark lines, just so we know we're looking at our eyes. So when you're doing this, or say take your time with it, rather than what I'm doing, like rushing it, because you'll be a lot more happier. And when you take the time, you can experiment as well and see what works and what doesn't. Oh, the eyes are a bit smaller than I expected. There we go. Yeah, that works. So the eye's a little bit bigger now. Okay, so we now have a cyber-looking Britannia. So we've gone through the say like how to make the lines and everything. Say how to make it look cybernetic, like visor styles. Always look up references just to get a picture of what they look like. Let's go with the glowy stuff because that is why we are here. And for this, I'm going to be using a background as a helper. What we're going to be doing is we're going to color this. So I'm going to color this in a dark color so it blends in. And then we're going to add a bit of a blue. Yeah, why not? A bit of a blue color. Okay, so a quick trick to get some shading in there as well is by say doing the gradient thing. So if you click all the colors that you've made recently in the other layer, they should all be connected, touch wood. And by doing that, let me move the eye down, sorry. Connect. You should be able to get a darker color. Let's go with that, say dark purple here. I think they're all connected. No, they're not. The red is hiding. There we go. So, say we'll go this way. It's like a cheating way on how to shade. Then we go into the magic of what's known as the, well, I like to call it the, this is where the shiny things happen. And here is a bunch of systems. I'll hold it here for a second or two, where you can choose your say choose how you want it to look. So you can have it like, you can darken it a little bit more. You can increase the saturation. You can make it shiny, which I'll be showing in a second. You can make the color of it more. You can say you've got like all this color here. You can just like say make it the color of what that was. So that was like a darkish purple. So it's made that a lot more faded. And then there's also shade solutions, which essentially makes it a little bit darker. So a lot of experimenting is worth noting as well. Always experiment when you're doing these. Let's see what the shiny looks like. Okay, that looks completely different than I was expecting. Burn is a hit and miss sometimes, because sometimes it will give you that glow effect that you want, but it's a little bit too much sometimes. Ah, here we go. Overlay is working pretty well. Okay, so we've got a bit of a shadowy overlay. We've got a little bit darker. And we're going to go with a paintbrushy shading technique just for time. So we do that, a bit like that, like that. I'm going to say always mess around with your optimacy as well, just to see what you can make with it, because one shade can look really nice and then another one will just look awful. So it's a lot of like testing it out and seeing what works. Don't be afraid to like I say, experiment and everything. Okay, so we've got a bit of lining, shading and everything. Like that. So I'm using it's called Blender Blur, and it helps blend it into like soft shading. So rather than having that a thick line there, I can just soften it out and make it look a little bit less dark and sinister and blah. Another color, we shall now go with a bright and shiny and happy and blah. Oh, okay, now we're stepping onto something good. Okay, so what we've stepped onto here is well, it's given a bit of a like a body glow. So this area is definitely going to be a shiny pink. With this, we can go with overlay again, which just gives it a nice little tint. Or we could go with color, which gives it a more deeper tint, which we can work on with later. Which we are going to actually keep that because that looks quite nice. Yeah, we're going to keep that. So we'll knock down the optimacy a little bit. Just quickly check questions. Okie dokie. So I think it's time for glowing effects that I mentioned many moons ago. I've lost track of space and time. Send help. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. Okay, so glowing effects. The best, and I find the most saving, is known as luminosity / shine. It's it works from the works from Psy's version of it, but this is actually based on Psy's version of it, and it has been a massive lifesaver with making aesthetic art. Again, a lot of practice and understanding how it works is a major help, as you could see there in the sneaky. So that really nice glowing shine effect. So don't be afraid to just expand it a little bit and seeing how it would look. So look your optimacy as well, and then you get your magic blur, your blur out. Just makes everything look a lot more shinier. So don't be afraid to just, you know, cut out little bits of sections because you don't want it to, you know, take over the entire image, as it is just a glow effect. Unless you're looking for that, then feel free to completely destroy it with glow or something. I don't know. Yeah, it is actually kind of relaxing as well on how to make everything look all glowy and shiny. And when you get when you get get to how it works and everything, it's a lot more fun. So we'll make those shine out a little bit more. Another thing you can do is say, like I said with like the shading technique, where you just click all the colors and then just go straight over. If you've still got that, you can still hold it like that. Then make another layer. And get the get the airbrush out in soft. Make it a little bit big. And get the luminosity shine out again. This will just increase the volume of the glow that you have. We're also going to add a little bit more glow here because of where the lighting will be. And then of course get your blur out, see how that's going. And once I've done that, I'm just going to quickly check to make sure we've got enough time. It's okay, Parsi. Hope you have a nice sleep. Yes, no problem, Kaiser. Yeah, Krita is free. I want to scream that out. I recommend it. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. It's free. It works. It does its job. Okay, so we have a we have a shiny horse, very shiny horse. I'm just moving the lines up here. Oh, I can show you a trick with this. So, as you can see, we've got these dark, these dark lines and everything. But if you want to make it look, so you want those lines to look a little bit more to the colors and everything, copy the layer, paste the layer, and go to filters. Go to adjust, HSV adjustment, and you'll have the magic of changing the hue, the saturation, and the lightness. The lightness, you can change it. And okay, so this is going to be a pink, isn't it? Yeah. Pink. So increase the saturation, make it a lot more shinier, like that. And then you can use the gradient again as a eraser by pressing this. And this will make this just fade out just a little bit. And then you can play with the colors again. So like that's just made that look a lot more purpley and pinky rather than here because I removed it with the gradient eraser. Or we can make it, that's a bit too much actually, that one. Again, it is a lot of trial and error seeing how you want it to look. So overlay, it's not too bad. Well, I think we'll stick with color because color makes it look a lot nicer that way. Yes, the same trick can go for let's say with filter. Let's say for changing like the hue and everything in the background, because we know it's going to be a pinky side. Pinky. As in the horse. That was a bad joke. I sincerely apologize for anyone listening to that. That was an awful joke. I'll see myself out. So make that a little bit darker. Let's say goodbye to the color palette. Actually, no, let's keep that color palette because it is time on how to do futuristic buildings without putting any effort into it. And number 6 is going to surprise you, as they say on those clickbait websites. What you got to do is get to the, say, what looks like the square selector. I can't remember the name of it. And then just begin to make buildings. Again, look at references so you know how buildings look. Make like connectors and everything, as you can see in a lot of Cyberpunk things. You have like a lot of connectors to buildings, different sections. So we'll build a building here, build one here, 1 section, 2 section, 3 section, 4. The section is now coming for your door. And then again, use gradient. I have not got the right one on here. Oh yeah, be careful when you what brushes you've got selected, because I have the blender brush and that will do absolutely nothing. You need to make sure it's got one that makes color happen. So we'll go back to the G pen I'm using, but the ink-free G pen, as it's called here on the system. As you can see, that we've just made a city landscape. If you want to make the little interior buildings, just make little incisions, everything like that. It depends on what type of buildings you want to make as well, because some have like different like windows, some have like ones that go downwards, bits and bobs. Some even have little lights inside. You can also change the diameter of the building. So if you want to like cut off a little piece there, cut off that little bit there. Similar to how that is it? I can't remember what the building's called. It's not the BT Tower in Manchester. It's the one that has like it looks like it's really thin and it goes into a big chunky piece at the top. It looks really scary to look at when you're at like Comic-Con and you just see that staring at you. It's like, that's gonna fall. Who made that? It's weird. I don't like it. Oh yeah, and then mess around with the colors and everything. So I'm gonna make it like in a dark shady color because that's cool and yeah. I'm just gonna make that a little bit darker. So feel free to make whatever gradients you want in here and everything. Yeah. Again, with the luminosity, make a new layer. I'm going luminosity and shine. So choose your color. So we're going to go again with the pinks and everything. Go with the airbrush because it's going to be a distant glowing in effects. It's a rectangle piece here. I highly suggest using this because you can just cut off the the sections and then just blur them out, which I find quite useful. So that's that. The volume a little bit more. Do that. Do that. That. Why am I tired? I had like 10 hours of sleep, which is rare. Yeah, just like that. And then we go back to our magic blending brush and just blend it out a bit. Oh yeah, don't forget to delete the pieces that I've mentioned, otherwise you do a steely like I just did. Delete. And don't worry if it leaves like chunky lines like that, because the let's say the blender brush will just remove that for you. you do want to add like different, you can say if you do want to make it look a lot more building-like, you can use what's in the textures. What looks like it looks like brick, like a brick theme or something like that. You can use. Not a brick theme. What's it called? A brick texture. That's the one. Yeah. Yeah, that looks all right for now. And then if you want to stylize it, again, we go back to the gradient. What we'll do is we will make so we'll make it pink, go for dark color, go like that. And then we'll go down with a dark purple here. Then we'll go over with an overlay, and that gives it a lot more deeper color like that. But what we're going to do now is, so we'll make some, what I like to use is like little dark lines and everything. That makes it just makes everything connect together a little bit more. So yeah, like that. So you can take little bits out of it as well if you want to make it look a little bit more glitchy and everything, like sections cut out, bits like that. Cut them out. Oh yeah, if you hold Shift, oh never mind, it didn't work. If you hold Shift, it will like hold as many squares as you want out. So I can have 1 there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11, 4. Like that. So it gives a bit of a more broken future vibe. Like that. See how much time we've got left. I think we've still got enough time. I'll wait until I get screamed at by someone. Let's go back to textures. Just before we all go. Yeah, so we have like a bunch of textures here. If you want to make it look a little bit gritty, what you can do is we'll make that a little bit more bluish. Is to say make the brush the brush a little bit larger and just go over it a bit. So it smudges it up a little bit, because what we're going to use next is the overlay system, and that just gives it a little bit of a bit of a dirt look to it. However, again, it is just a lot of seeing what works and what doesn't. It also gives it like a nice mist effect, if you can see there. So I'll use another brush that makes it look like a bit of a starry night. We'll do that in the background here. Oh no, that's the wrong one. There we go. So we do like that. That's not very starry, that's very splatty. There we go. That looks a little bit starry. I'm not sure if that's coming up on your screens. I can zoom in a little bit. There. So you can see like it's a little bit starry nights and everything. So we have a Britannia in a cyberpunk aesthetic. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Is there any questions anyone want to ask? Feel free to DM me as well later if you have any other questions and everything. Thank you, Pink. Yay. Could we sell this? Would people buy this as a print? If I was allowed to sell this? Hey, okay. Well, I'll see what I can do, and if I can make this into a print, I shall. I think this is my cue to wrap up. As it's pretty, we can. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we can. Yeah, why not? Well, we not. We'll make it a charity piece and everything. So we'll put. I don't know how the charity thing works. So I'll have to ask the staff to tell me how to do it. And everything. Yeah. Yes, I am ready. Yeah, I'll ask you guys and see how it goes. But yeah, this has been a panel on how to make Cyberpunk art in a extremely affordable and simple program, and how to use its resources to your benefits. I've Chaos Mauser. Yeah. I'm also selling wares of Cyberpunk wares, such as the rarity and vinyl and everything in my vendor stall. Chaos Mauser art commissions. If you would like to buy something similar to this, feel free to jump in there. And yeah, I think that's everything, I hope. It's been a long time since doing a panel. So yeah, I think that's everything, and I bid you all farewell, I think.